Good afternoon. My objective here is to share with you information about an exclusive national poll we did with Datafolha, which is the most important research and poll company in Brazil. And we focus on trends and tendencies and perceptions from the Brazilian consumers. And I will share this presentation with Paulo Luiz, who came from Brazil with me, and he will give you, in a couple of minutes, some more technical details about this poll we did. First of all, something happened here. Okay, thank you. So first of all, a couple of information about Brazil. Brazil is the economy number 7 in the whole world. We have more than 200 million people. Brazil is responsible for more than 50% of the total GDP of Latin America and more than 40% of the whole territory of Latin America. Just brief information about our company. We have offices in São Paulo, Rio de Janeiro, and Brasilia, 100 people, and national coverage. And we are the Brazilian partners of Global Partnership, PRY. Well, we have heard since yesterday many people talking about new solutions, innovation on PR and communication, and I think it's clear for everybody that there are no more walls in the PR and communication industry, and how we do need to be committed to putting together and different disciplines of the communications, such as press relations and marketing and social media, in order to create innovative solutions, integrated solutions for our clients. And this include, of course, information, intelligence, and that's why some months ago we hired Datafolha, the number 1, as I mentioned, company in this field, to build an index for us to make possible to identify perceptions from Brazilian consumers towards 10 different industries in Brazil. We select 10 specific industries, those ones, and we selected those ones because they have each one hundreds of thousands or even millions clients in Brazil. So we thought it would be a good idea to focus on those industries. Our methodology, we interviewed in person more than 2,000 people in 135 cities, and we cover all the socio-economic layers of the Brazilian population in all Brazilian regions. Some of our goals to identify what drives consumer decisions in Brazil, how they evaluate the quality, the innovation, and ethics on those 10 industries mentioned. This is a summary of a long survey we made, and well, you can see here that the 3 best industries in the ranking were hygiene and beauty, automobile industry, and food industry. The worst results, telecom companies, and healthcare private, this is important to say, healthcare private companies. And they're very easy to explain. Hygiene and beauty, in this field there are many Brazilian companies competing against international companies. There are a strong competition in this segment, lots of investments, new products all the time, and a very interesting commitment from most of the leading companies in this field towards sustainability, which is something that the Brazilian consumer does like. Automobile industry, again, a good position in the ranking. For many, many years, the automobile industry in Brazil was criticized because they had old models, they didn't offer a high level of quality. And on the last 10 years, what happened is that the automobile industry in Brazil, they invested a lot of money. There are still, they have already invested more than $30 billion on the last years. There are still other $30 billion to come in the next 5 years. The fancy German brands, Audi, Mercedes-Benz, and BMW, they are building facilities in Brazil to offer to the local market those sophisticated cars, and the automobile industry is investing a lot in technology as well. So the evaluation is quite positive. Food industry quite well evaluated because of a good consumer service and interesting investments in healthier food. And they publicize a lot this trend, so consumers evaluate that in a positive way. Bad results, the worst results, the telecom and healthcare. Telecom is a quite concentrated market in Brazil, just a few companies, and services are not quite good. To connect on the internet with your cell phone, sometimes it's not easy. So, and prices, both of devices and services, are quite high compared with the European and American standards. Just for you to know, hundreds of thousands of Brazilians come to the U.S. and they buy the Apple phones for in average 50% or 60% less money than they would pay in Brazil. Just this for you to understand. And healthcare private plans, they are quite badly evaluated because millions of people buy those plans because the social health system in Brazil is very bad, so people prefer to buy private plans, but the quality is not good, and prices are going up and up very fast, and people, of course, is not happy with that. So those are the numbers related to quality in those three winners sectors. Innovation and ethics. Important to say that ethics in all those 10 businesses, this topic was the worst evaluated one. So people are not so happy with the ethics of the companies as they are with innovation and quality. Important topic. Other interesting information. Brazilians evaluate better Brazilian companies than international companies in all those three topics. And again, ethics, the worst topic evaluated. We also address questions to consumers. What should be the main reasons for them to not buy a product or a service? First answer, bad quality. Second, unknown brand, which means lots of opportunity to communication and marketing. And misleading advertising, which means also a lack of transparency. So I will ask now Paulo Luiz from Datafolha, the person in charge of the complex survey to lead to this index. He will share with you some technical information about our methodology.
Thank you, Ciro. Thank you for the opportunity to be here. First thing I will say is a few words about Datafolha. We are part of a group, a communication group, that includes some of the vehicles that are very important in Brazil, such as Folha de São Paulo and the internet portal UOL. And the company was created in 1983, generating content to these companies, to the communication companies, and also serving other companies as a market research company. So we became a very well-known company because of the political pause in the country. That's why we are very reliable, considered a reliable company. We decided a long time ago just do research in the case of the political research, just do research that would be publicized. And nowadays we do research for Globo, Rede Globo, which is the main television company in Brazil, and Folha de São Paulo, and also we decided also not to do research for political parties. Then we become a kind of impartial source of information. And a great source for the analysis of the Brazilian society in general, overall. We also developed a partnership with the University of São Paulo. This partnership was related to develop a sampling methodology, basically, that innovated in terms of doing market research in Brazil in a way that is fast and not so expensive. It's all expensive, but not so. And we also adapted some techniques, some concepts from statistical and sociological to use it in marketing disciplines. Well, marketing research and research overall, it's very related to quality control. We have thousands of people working on a project, and we have to have another large group of people working on checking what they did first. So we have many steps, but I won't talk a lot about this, about all these steps. And I'd rather talk about the type of things that we have to consider when doing a research in Brazil in order to compose a good sample, a sample that is really representative of the country. Brazil is a land of contrasts. Roger Bastide, a sociologist, French sociologist, said that many years ago. And you can see that on the map, where you can see the GDP per capita in the different regions of the country. So the southern east region here is almost three times the GDP on the northeastern region. So it's a huge difference because of the years of history of the country. And then the experience of the people will also change according to educational level and economic level. Also, the region, gender, age, all the demographic characteristics would also have implication on opinion and behavior of the people. Then in a country with these dimensions, high level of inequalities, many segments that are hard to reach because they are in locations that are violent or difficult to get, or because many people don't have, I think internet incidence is around 50% of the population. Telephone is with the explosion of the telephone, the mobile telephone. Now the incidence is high, but you can't find name lists of the users, so it's also difficult to reach. Then our methodology developed decades ago was based on street intercept and control, and quota control, and regional specific distribution based on the characteristics of the population that we have to keep studying all the time. but in this situation, many companies, and we also do research that is not nationally representative. It's very common that people work with the 9 main markets of the country. They are located mainly in the coast, and these are the main urban agglomerations of the country. But the thing is, it's not wrong doing that. The thing is that if you do that, you have to consider that you are excluding almost 60% of the population. So, and populations with different profiles. So it's important that you know that to understand the results. We also do research for instance, just in São Paulo city. For some certain purpose, it's okay. The thing is that you cannot have it as a rule for the whole country. Then for this specific research, we did it with a national sample, as Ciro told you, in 135 cities, different cities. Some of these cities are because we do a random selection of the cities according to the size of the cities. And sometimes the interviewer have to take a boat in the Amazon River to reach the city, and takes 1 day, for instance, to get there. But this is an operation that we are used to do in order to have under consideration all these things that we have to reach difficult places, and we have to consider that we will deal with large groups that are undereducated. Then our language in the survey has to be checked, and we have to consider the changes. Just in the last, this recent electoral polls, we had a great variation among the second candidate, not the elected president, but the second candidate had a great variation during the process. And we think that this type of information is relevant to the population to take the decisions. In terms of this research, is something that's interesting to notice is that this is an example of banks, and we have the average index here, and this index varies a lot according to here education. Then it's similar. Some people talked about authenticity recently, and this behavior of higher educated people and class A in terms of economic level, the higher level of economic classification, these people are more critical than the people lower educated. Then it's something similar to this. So I let Ciro now finish the presentation.
Antônio Carlos Jobim is the most famous Brazilian composer. He wrote Girl from Ipanema and other very famous songs. And he used to say that Brazil is not for beginners. And this is because there's no one Brazil. There are many Brazils. And all those Brazils are changing very fast. The mentality, the anxiety of the whole society. And this is the best picture to prove that. A little bit more than 1 year ago, strong demonstrations all over Brazil started because just a small, in theory, a small fact. The mayor of São Paulo, he decided that the public transportation should have the prices increase in 20 cents. And that triggered a wild national demonstration. People went to the streets by saying, it's not only because of 20 cents, it's because we want more health, more sanitation, better education. And that was astonished. Nobody expected to see that national move out of the blue, in theory out of the blue, but it was not exactly like that. So to make a long story short, Brazil is changing very fast. There's a new and emerging middle class, people for the first time in their lives buying a house or a car. So and people want more. They want to see the country changing. So that's why it's so important for us PR professionals in Brazil to pay attention on that and to be able to give the right advice and the right solutions for our clients. So thank you, and I don't know if you have time enough for questions, but if you have, I would be glad to answer.
Unfortunately, but thank you, Theo.